And we are back. That is right. Happy Friday, Scrap Masters, quilt makers, friends, family alike. Are you ready to see what week 30 randomly generates? I certainly am. Let's get started. And that is right. Well, welcome back to So Well with Rob Appell. I am your host. That's me, Rob Appell. And I'm super blessed to have all of you here with me, week 30, building this super cool, randomly generated Scrapmasters quilt, Series 2. Behind me, you see Series 1, 35 blocks generated. So we're getting pretty close to what's going to happen here. And boy, am I excited about what I'm going to do next. That's right, we have a Houston update coming up. But before we move any further, I do want to say welcome to everybody that is following along on the Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. Pacific time, aka 5 p.m. Eastern time for the chat group. Please make sure you are chatting along with us, making sure that you're letting us know how you're doing out there, what you're working on. The theme for this week, I know it sounds crazy, especially from a recovering alcoholic, but here we go. Bar crawl. I'll explain more in a little bit, but that is right. I'll explain a little bit right now. Yes, a few days ago, my precious daughter, the youngest of our family, turned 21. And so, yeah, that's a huge phase in everybody's life. And she is actually quite the mild 21-year-old. So we're excited for her. And I'll then let that carry over at the moment for my cool announcement. Thank you for all the support out there. So I've learned how to, on the website, robappell.com, have a $12 flat shipping rate. So not 21, but $12. We're celebrating $12 flat shipping. So I still have the Newer Worlds bundles. They're half yards, 9 different pieces from either New Worlds or the Newer Worlds bundles. I also have, of course, the Scrap Master game spinner set for yourselves. You can have your own color wheel and dice and stickers, and a pattern included in all of that. Fantastic. Don't forget, there's a link on the bottom of robappell.com. You can get the green So Well shirt. You can get the version of the gray So Well shirt again. So thank you for all your support. I was blessed to be wearing this recently, the black version of the Rob Appell logo shirt, and I'm super excited. So let me set this aside as we get ready to roll and spin our way into week number 30. And maybe this will help us keep track of where we're going. Picking our block of the free 6 blocks that we have available on the link below. What block are we using today? Oh, block number 6. I got you folks. I can do it this week. I promise, I promise, I promise. Block number 6. What color shall we do? Oh, it just made it past the blue violets again. Thank you. Folks, we're calling it red, bright red. Oh my gosh, here we go. Well, red, you know how I use my color wheel. Okay, block 6 in red. What's this going to be? How many different fabrics can we choose from our sorted tray of treasure? We're going to talk a little bit more about sorting today as well. Ooh, 18. Ooh, I like this. Block 6, 18. Let's have a look. See what that is going to do for us. Okay, so block 6, as you remember, is kind of the crazy checkerboarded star in here. We have several of them in the quilt, and I want to just make mention right now, in case the Birdman, Kevin, is watching. I have snuck this block back into the quilt. Now, this is last week's block, and I even will agree, this block has a roughly 30% chance of making it in the final quilt. Something else we need to start discussing as our quilts come together. I am getting more and more guided in what I can do in our final few weeks with the blocks. Of course, I've got the other blocks that will either fill in up here and or around as I build out a 5x7 block layout like the one behind me, usually kind of playing dark to light, mixing my colors, letting them travel through. But this block here, we are afraid it is quite unsightly for a variety of different reasons. So it's okay because we are just randomly making blocks. This one may be randomly replaced, but right now I'm going to see if I can work it into the project. So I've got it in here. I actually built it as my key cornerstone, and I worked off of it this week to see if I can prove the Birdman wrong. We'll see what happens. So starting with this, I have 18 fabrics to choose from. Red being my family, I'm going to go ahead and just grab this as one of my fabrics. And I'm thinking because of a larger number on that 20-sided die, I'm going to probably use a variety of fabrics in each of the different color families I work from today. Remember, read your patterns like black, gray, white color families. Then you can sort out your shades or your tones. This one is so busy, I could possibly do a swapperoo block, but I'm afraid it might just get confusing. I've done that once before. This one here, you can see is block 6 where I've split the families of color, but I'm afraid that's just too much going on. So let's just see what we can do here today. So we're going to start with our red, and I'm going to pull roughly, brighten it up a little bit into that orange. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, folks, those big numbers can be hard to achieve. So if you can't make it all the way there, just get close with the number of different fabrics. And what can I do with that red? I look up here and I'm thinking, how can I start to push? I have orange and yellow blocks going in my leftovers pile. The reds, maybe we can get some of the red violets to work with it. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that's pretty. And I'm going to come over here and refer to the color wheel real quick. So when I put this on here, and notice that these ones are blocked out. It actually says don't use these red violets. It said, hey, why don't you not do that? So the true violets would work better. And I do see that now, okay? And if I did that, then I could bounce over here to the yellow side. I don't know that I love that. So I'm going to try this split complementary today where I actually bring in a blue green and a yellow green with the red family. Let's see what that does. And this is the fun part. We are talking about sorting. I said I'd mention some sorting. You notice by having all of my fabrics pre-cut down into 3-inch squares and 2.5-inch squares, I can quickly grab the number of different fabrics I need as I grab my stacks through here. I can also even just kind of now lay my color wheel over here and see what I'm going for. So more of these yellow-green family. Ooh, this is fun with that lime. I can see that already. And then the blue-green family, which I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna extend it a little further into the blues. And wow, I do believe I'm gonna love this block. As I look at it right now, I just wanna think into the block. So I see the star and I really want it to exaggerate itself today. So I'm gonna choose red for my black units. Okay, so these now all become the black units. And I'm going to want, yes, the pop. So these become the gray units and these will become the white units. And I'm also noticed stacking, and you can see at this point I've got plenty to make 18 different fabrics. Stacking also in that black, gray, white, helping my brain calculate how I'm now teaching this differently. So let's do a quick count on fabrics for choices. Make sure I'm not cheating too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I loved this. So we're going to say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's the same fabric. 15, 16. My goodness, we'll throw in that 17. That is going to be a key. See what that does together? Okay, fun. 17. And only need one more. I'm just going to cheat, throw this back in here. There's 18. Okay, there, we're dialed in now. Let's count out for our half square triangle units. What are we going to need? Starting again with my black and my white combinations here. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Remember, we're using 3-inch squares, yielding 2. So with 14, I need 7 pieces. Let's get a variety going today, because this will be what really forms up the star. So I'm going to use at least one of all the different red fabrics. This little slight change to orange, I think, is going to really help add in a little bit of that glow factor I like. Go back to the theme fabric. There's 6. And one of these nice soft blenders, again, 7. Okay, so that was the black. And now we need the white combos. Try to put prints with solids and solids with prints. Okay, this is going to make a fantastic variety there. So these will be set aside for our half square triangle units. Now, let's look at our gray and whites, and I see 1 for each corner. That's 4 plus 2 more in the middle, a total of 6. So I need 3. Let's use these spicy ones that are 3 inches. I can't use my 2.5ers. So use those 3. And then remember, these are my whites now. So again, have some fun with it. Make sure you have your right sides together on the lighter ones. Fantastic. These now become half square triangles as well. And now let's just get organized through the rest of our pile so that we can tidy up and figure out how many of our different squares we're going to need. So of our black family, up here the reds today for me, I need a total of 4. So I'll use my theme fabric, 2, stacking them off of the bottom corner, 3, 4, we need 4 of the gray family, and here are a couple that are pre-cut, and here are a couple of pre-cut, so I love that. Already made for me, fantastic. And I also now from the whites family, I'm going to need a total of 8. Looking for any pre-cuts. I have a couple here. There's 2 more. Let's lean on this kind of blue-green. Remember, the color wheel suggested that for us. 2, 4. Okay, roughly stacks of about 4 or 5 there each. Tidy up. Now, we're going to go ahead and use a standardized ruler. Find our 2.5 and 2.5 inch mark. Cut through. And make sure you have all your squares ready to rock and roll, because I believe that having your design work prepped, your units here for it, makes it so much more enjoyable when you're actually building in your designs. You'll notice I'm even sorting these now by color family once again. Half square triangles are made 2 at a time. I've got 3-inch squares here, right side fabrics together. Draw yourself a diagonal line or use your seam guide tape. And if you're on the chain gang like me, a chain piecer, then just sew down all of one side of all of your markings, your half square triangles to be. For me now, I'm just going to go ahead and use my machine to separate them. And even though I've started doing webbing of my block units together, that's a style of stitching them back together, I'm not so sure I'm confident with it yet for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and rotate my triangles, and I'm going to go ahead and keep watching that line, watching my seam tape, and also now watching that thread as I go. And I'm just going to continue on the basic rogue sewing, prepping myself out. And this is probably when most of our minds dream away into the things we are so grateful for. As you know, I like to celebrate what I'm grateful for here each week on the grateful list. And I did mention earlier that grateful list item number 1, or the theme of the week was, so last week was celebrate, this week was bar crawl. And that is because dear Ruby has turned 21. The youngest is the oldest age that we want to have them. I don't know, how do you say that? Anyways, not really growing up, but of age. And we love her dearly. And she's such a wonderful young lady. And I just will pray a little bit more as she continues to get out there and experiment with all life has to offer. And one of those things I'm so proud of her for is her career as a nail artist. She's done amazing working semi-locally here at the on the Park Salon, Paso Robles, and she just does incredible stuff. So it's just really cool. So let's celebrate Ruby 21 and get out there and enjoy the bar crawl. Or if you're not a bar crawler, go over to robappell.com and enjoy some $12 flat fee shipping on Ruby. I think it's pretty dang cool. Let's cut these apart again as we discuss item number 2 on the grateful list, which was also part last week of the grateful list, which was my visit out to Centerville, Iowa, world's United States largest town square. And I'm just going to separate these with a straight edge as we talk. And I'll tell you what, it was a cute little town. I experienced some wicked thunder and lightning. My goodness, it was wild and I loved it, but it also, there was a moment or less than where it was like boom, flash, or boom, flash, bang. It was crazy. That was really cool. But even more exciting is the friends we meet while we're on the road. So I got to meet Denise's family. That was super cool. I also got to go over and help a little bit boy, you just never know where a day can take you. I just got to spend 45 minutes talking to a group of high schoolers at a sewing class in Centerville, Iowa about scrap masters and quilting and all the cool jobs in the industry and everything. It was super fun. Of course, they slept through most of the presentation because they were high schoolers and they didn't think I was as cool as I think I am as cool, but I still think maybe one of them might make a try. Get some high schoolers excited. So they have a sewing program there in Centerville at the high school, and it's a small town with a small school. And it was really cool what they had available. So they have 12 newer machines, if I remember correctly, ironing stations, dress forms, a huge bin of scraps, and they are going to try to help us all get ready. Like I said, we have a Houston update coming up, but our update to Houston, it's going to be amazing, and they're going to try to sew along with us in Scrap Masters. So here we are. Let's welcome the amazing young folks at the Centerville High School sewing program for being a scrap master. And boy, youngsters, you have a giant box of scraps to go through, and those closets are already pre-organized, which is going to help you. So remember, get your fabrics color coded, built into smaller pieces like these 3-inch squares, these 2.5-inch squares, so that you can quickly make blocks. If I understand correctly, we're going to have them building a community quilt, and they're going to try to make sure it is stitched together and all quilted and ready to go with us all to Houston, which will be November, but we'll need a call for entries coming up soon. Paperwork's in. Not quite enough, not quite grateful list yet, but I have spoken to some of the powers that be. Paperwork is in, and we're getting ready for our big time this year, Quilt Festival Houston in November. And I'm not only teaching, so we'll get ready to sign up. I'll let you know when that happens, but we're going to try our hardest to have a bunch of our scrap masters as a community on display. So let's hope that happens. It's going to be amazing. Okay, real quick, demo time. If you were not paying attention, now watch the sewing part. Using the to make my 2.5-inch half square triangles, I'm going to use my slotted trimmer, and I'm going to cut these down using the dotted line, and I'm just trimming both sides. And then I'm going to manually, because it's just easier for me, dog ear those corners, bring it over to the ironing station, and then I'm just going to press to the dark, and I'm going to stack these all up in color family order as well, so that we can start our design process. Fun fruity colors here. I think we got it going on as I stack them up. And now let's find that pattern we're going to follow. We're doing block 6. And again, the goal is these red versions represent the black here in the pattern today. So I'm just going to make that so I can kind of follow it here with ease. And often I'll start in the center here, which is going to require 2 different versions, and they're going to point out from each other here. Then I need the combinations, which are the white and the gray. So I'm also going to have a couple of fun different versions in here. And the white space is going to come in. And remember, the white space is represented by the blue greens, and I started to forget already, and I remembered by looking here. So that means I need to rotate these in like this, and that's fun. Excuse me. Already started to get distracted. I need to rotate this out like this. So you can definitely see the pinwheel effect of that center block. If you've not seen me do these before, when I originally had written the patterns out, I kind of focused on 4 patches, but I believe by laying it all out on the table like you're about to see me do gives me the greatest opportunity for variety. Because this is a bit of a complicated block, I'm going to first just focus on getting everything where it should go. We'll take a second look and see if there's any ways to make it a little bit more creative or control our colors. But for this, let's just focus on the red family right now to get in our parts and pieces as we go. So that means I'm going to actually now need a red square here and here. And I'm also going to need a red square in these lower corners here and here. I made that quick switch because that was the same fabric as right here, and I want to bring my eye around as much in the block as possible. From these spaces here, we'll be using, again, my red-blue combos, the black and white as you see them. So I'm going to continually look for different fabric choices, and I'm going to build them now to fill in the spaces first around my hourglass block. The lines might start to feel a little tricky, but they're going to kind of run this parallel, if you can see that this way here. So as I get twisted around, if I do, as I drop this in, I can look for the way that the blues travel this way and this way, the reds travel this way and this way here in the center. Okay. And now we're going to fill in the rest of these sections first, continually focusing on the red fabrics, and the red fabrics will leave a angle out V. So my white fabric choices should all be now tips in as I go. You can see what I'm doing pretty nice there. Into the first sections here will be 4 squares from the gray family. So I'm representing that with my greens. I'm going to put them just on opposite sides of the block as we go today. And you can see, boom, that just started to pop everything. Really exciting. I wanted to make sure I didn't have 2 of those fabrics there stuck together. Okay, awesome. Now, just to help my eye, we're going to place these fabrics again with the medium or the green facing out. So I'm going to try to get different combinations. Oh, and again, let's have the opposites effect, because what I've ended up with here and here. Now we'll lay in our white reading fabrics. Now I'm just looking to try to make sure I don't have any of the same fabrics or too close to the same fabrics touching on any of the what would be their seams. but also trying to bring the colors through. See, so this here and this here, all of these colors are of the same tone. I don't want to get too carried away, but they're also now different checkers, different pieces there as I go. I have the same, but I'm okay with that. Is it worth a swap? As I look around, it does kind of draw my eye up there. It does draw my eye up there a little bit. So maybe what I'm going to do is swap here into here. So now my eye is really focused, yes, on the red of the star. I like what I see. Now I'm going to lock down my 1/4-inch seam allowance, whatever edge guide, whatever I need to use to make sure I'm staying accurate and consistent as I get going. And I'm going to now begin piecing chain style all of my block units together. Now that I know that's secured down in there, we can get back to discussing that grateful list. Item number 3, last but never least, of course. And this week, for me, it's kind of summer or maybe the spring. It really was when my wife asked me to check on the flowers we got for Mother's Day. And they were so pretty, and I watered them. And we've had some great weather since I've been home the last 2 days in California. And I'm just getting that summer vibes already in town. So that's really fun. That also means we'll have more free time around the house, means more projects for me. It also means that I'm sitting on this, as I keep talking about, Houston International Quilt Festival. Super exciting, and I'm making that kind of my next future shift if all goes well. I see such great opportunity in being able to celebrate the Scrap Masters. Make sure this doesn't fall asleep. Celebrating the Scrap Masters as a program, as a class, a workshop, a vibe, a theory in learning, color theory, learning to let go and put fabric by color where it can be, but not necessarily exactly each piece of fabric. Even for me, a control freak, OCD, this has really been a great experience. I also, if you haven't seen, have the black quilt, the black based version. I hope to finish up in the next few weeks. And I think that's going to set us into stellar outer space cadets. I'm really excited and really blessed. So yeah, summer, I'm looking forward to having the time, the focus, the energy, getting ready to rock and roll. My next big trip will be to the Reno Quilt Show. And I believe that is June like 10th through 14th. Reno, Nevada, and I'm super excited about that as well. It'll be fun to see some friends and family up there. It'll be great to do a bunch of classes and workshops. I actually just made a cardboard cutout so you can get your picture with me or with the quiet me, which will be fun while I'm there. And I'm just going to go ahead now for a little bit and focus on my stitching and show you what we've got coming out the back end as these block units come together for block 6, 18 fabrics, color red, no more blue violet, at least 1 week. See, I told you the spinners weren't broken, folks. Keep those orders coming in. robappell.com. See you in a minute. So now, yes, with this webbing technique, as I've been kind of surveying folks, talking to them, sewing with them, they're not separating anything. We're not going to go to the iron at the moment. I'm just going to go ahead and rotate these and begin using my fingers to manipulate the seams so that they do basically a nesting, one up, one down, and get ourselves off to a good start here as I go. Leave my needle down so I can manipulate as I need. And what we do just want to do is try to make, again, sure our seams are going to go in consistent direction so it's easier to manipulate row by row as we stitch on. I'm also finding about row 4, I'm flipping over all of the work so that I can more easily manage these pieces that are still just webbed together. But man, I still certainly think this is a lot more efficient and a good way to stay organized. Oh, I'm excited to see what this looks like. Just going to kind of go through and let the seams do what they need to now. Really happy with the fabric choices this week. This is fun. Add a little steam for manipulation here. And even within the low volume neutrals, adding that super scrappy effect to this project, you can still totally see the star when it pops out this way. So this is going to be a good blender block. I have a feeling it's going to kind of match up, helping some of those red-blue blocks come together down the road. So we're getting close, folks. This was week number 30, block 6. Color red, 18 fabrics. We're somewhere there close to it. Thank you for being here. Have a blessed weekend. If you're watching this on the weekend, Friday, something like that, like you're supposed to be on the chat group in there, make sure you're part of our Facebook group as well and posting your pictures there. We love to see what you're working on. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate you helping me grow and maintain. This is amazing. Thank you for being here. Keep them hands busy until I see you next time. Please stay well.